We come to you live from the Wallace Civic Center on the campus of Fitchburg State University as FATV presents coverage of Hockey Night in Fitchburg. And today, we have not one, but two ice hockey games as we start our 2024 broadcast slate with a hockey doubleheader. In game number one, we've got the Red Raiders of Fitchburg Monty playing host to the Bernardians of St. Bernard's in an all-Fitchburg matchup. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Daniel Bolak. Happy to have you along with us here today. John Gruger's on assignment. We'll hear from him later in the season. But nevertheless, we will move on with game number one of our doubleheader, part of our 13-game broadcast slate in the regular season here on FATV and Hockey Night in Fitchburg. The Red Raiders come into this game with a record of 2-5, 1-3 in the Coughlin Conference. They're coming off a game against St. Paul on Wednesday, went down to the Worcester Ice Center. Colin Hines got the opener a minute 51 in, unassisted, to give the Raiders a 1-0 lead. Unfortunately, that was the high point of the night as St. Paul was not messing around. The Knights went off for 7 in a row, led 4-1 at the first interval, 5-1 at the second break, and 7-1 was the final. Owen Richard had 32 saves in the loss. But it was just a dominant performance for St. Paul, who's up to 5-1-1 on the season. So for Fitchburg Monty Tech, they're 2-5 overall. They opened up with a strong win against Oakmont back on December the 9th, 5-1. Lost to Gardner 3-2. Went out to Boston, played Boston Latin Academy, but fell to the Dragons 6-3. Didn't have a good showing against Littleton Bromfield 2 nights before Christmas time. Then in the Mark Bushnell tournament at the end of 2023, took down Aspet 5-2 in what was a very interesting contest in which the Raiders scored not 1, not 2, but 3 shorthanded goals. And then lost a close one in the final of the Bushnell tournament to Lunenburg Air Shirley, who's a strong 7-1-1 squad. That was just a 2-1 loss. And then St. Paul, as we just mentioned, back on Wednesday night. That 7-1 defeat down at the Worcester Ice Center. But the good news for the Red Raiders, they have a very backloaded home schedule to the point that they only have to leave Fitchburg for one more game in this regular season, and that's the season finale against Oakmont on Valentine's Day. So they're going to be calling the Wallace Civic Center home for quite a little while to come here. And we'll have plenty of those games for you here on FATV as well. As for St. Bernard's, they come into this game with a record of 3-3. They are 1-2 in Coughlin Conference play. Their most recent game was just a few days ago on Tuesday against the Blue Devils of Leominster. That was a 5-1 win for St. Bernard's. And for that too, Tyler McGarry, a freshman goalie, got his first varsity win in that contest with a 17-save performance. Looking down at how St. B's has done this year, they opened with Oakmont. They went up there to Cushing Academy to play the Spartans. That was an overtime winner, though, for Oakmont, 6-5. Then a 3-2 loss to Lunenburg Air Shirley. They hosted Swampscott on December the 20th, and that was a 3-0 loss to the Big Blue. Then they played in the Lynn Holiday Tournament, in which they didn't get to play Lynn at all. They got to play Peabody in the first game, won that 6-3. And then took down Minuteman 6-1 to take that crown before taking down Leominster 5-1 on January the 2nd to get back to 3-3. One thing that's really nice to see for St. Bernard's this year is the numbers have been up. In recent years, since St. B's has revived their ice hockey program, they had low numbers in the low teens, basically. Only enough to really reliably run 2 lines. But an influx of freshmen, 11 in all on the roster. They've got 22 players at their disposal, 19 skaters, 3 goalies, don't have to scratch anybody. And they've got the ability to run a full complement of players. And that's really nice to see for St. B's, who are on the upswing. 2 wins in their first full season since reviving the program. And this last season, 12 wins. They made it to the Division IV playoffs, won the play-in game. Got to make 2 trips down to the Cape. And on the other hand, Fitchburg had to make a trip to the islands in the playoffs last year. They drew Martha's Vineyard. That was an experience for them. But St. B's, they've got a very solidly built roster now. You look at their scorers coming into today. Matthew Sylvia, the son of head coach Steve Sylvia. He's got 4 goals and 3 assists for 7 points. So does Evan Walker, a freshman. Both of those players freshmen doing well. Ryan Gallant, who had 5 goals last year for the Bernardians, already has 6 this year for the blue and gold. Toby Molak, a freshman from Leominster, who I may or may not be related to, has 4 goals and 2 assists. And the goaltending continues to be solid. Chase Bergeron returns. Has a goals against in the low 3s right now. But nevertheless, he brings solid veteran presence as just a sophomore. He was the lone keeper last year. They've got the depth this year to roll 3 keepers. And so St. B's, a lot of their players have gotten on the point sheet. In fact, of all their skaters, only 2 of them right now are pointless through 6 games this season. So you can see that they've got a well-distributed lineup. As for Fitchburg Monty Tech, the leading goal scorer is Kyle Gendron. He's got 5 goals and an assist. Colin Hines has 3 goals in the season. So does Cody Berkio. The Raiders have scored 17 goals in all this season. They've got veteran presence in goal as well. They've been continuing their tandem with Easton Minardi and Owen Richard, both of them juniors. Minardi's played 4 games. Richard has played 3. And that's one of the positives that Fitchburg Monty Tech can rely on, is they have a solid veteran core, 7 seniors and 7 juniors. Berkio, Hines, and Jacob Pruno all serve as captains for the Red Raiders. And they've been in some pretty close games this year. But I guess the challenge is finding a little more consistency with the scoring. I think they would like to find themselves scoring a few more goals a game. 17 from 7. It's averaging just a shade under 2.5. They'd like to be a little better in that department. Meanwhile, St. B's 24 from 6. That's 4 a game. That'll get you somewhere. As we mentioned, this is the first of 2 games we would bring you here on FATV today. Later on at 5 o'clock, we will have the nightcap. Fitchburg State playing host to Salem State, which will be another exciting hockey matchup. The Falcons 6-3-2 coming in, and Salem State 3-8. So look forward to that as well. These 2 teams, maybe slightly slower starts I think both sides would like. Fitchburg Monty Tech, as we said, 2-5. St. Bernard's 3-3. The Bernardians have won their last 3 games, though, to get back to 500. Meanwhile, Fitchburg Monty Tech looking for their first winning streak of the season. On a 2-game losing streak at the moment. We look ahead for them. They've got Chicopee a week from today. We'll have that game here on FATV as well. The Chicopees had their lumps, but we'll have a lot more to talk about that when that game comes along. St. B's, after this one, will have Littleton, Bromfield, and Gardner. 2 solid teams that Fitchburg Monty Tech's already had some trouble with. I wonder how this game would bode for how those will come down the line. As you see, the teams have completed their warm-ups and just about ready to play, just waiting on the teams to break the huddle, and public address announcer Jim LaPointe to give us the starting lineups in the national anthem. So we'll step aside and let you listen into that. Puck drop is coming up next here on Hockey Night in Fitchburg.
Good evening, high school hockey fans, and welcome to the Wallace Civic Center for tonight's Coughlin Conference matchup between the Bernardians of St. Bernard's and Fitchburg Monty Tech Raiders. Here's starting lineups. First for the Bernardians. At right wing, number 10, Colin Majowitz. Center, number 19, Ryan Gallant. Left wing, number 6, Phoenix Fortier. Defense, number 13, Ryan Hill. Defense, number 2, Chase Courtemache. And in goal for the Bernardians, number 1, Chase Bergeron. Head coach for St. Bernard's is Steve Sylvia. For the Raiders, at right wing, number 18, Cody Berkio. Center, number 3, Nick Paquette. At left wing, number 20, Colin Hines. Defense, number 17, Jackson Leader. Defense, number 2, Alex Armstrong. In goal, number 30, Easton Minardi. Head coach for the Raiders is Steve Lowney. Today's officials, Dan Spedding and Jay Murphy. Ladies and gentlemen, students, at this time, I would ask you all to please stand as we honor our nation and the flag with the playing of the Star-Spangled Banner.
Moments away from puck drop here at the Wallace Civic Center in Fitchburg, here on Hockey Night in Fitchburg. First of 4 doubleheaders we have scheduled for you in this regular season over the next 6 weeks. Daniel Bolak here with you from the press box here at the Civic Center. Goaltending matchup, Easton Minardi gets the nod for the Red Raiders. Fifth game this year, 1-3 record, 275 goals against. Save percentage in the low 900s. As for the Bernardians, Chase Bergeron, the sophomore, gets his 5th nod of the year. He's also 1-3 goals against, around 320. Save percentage in the 880s. Raiders in the home white uniforms, Bernardians in the road dark blues, and we're underway. As Leader tries to move it along to Paquette. Knocked off, and Majewicz with the backhand tries to knock it into the zone, taken away. Skated up for Paquette in the center circle, left it there. Now on the left side, blasted into the zone by Ryan Gallant. Go off the backboards, off the back of the net, and Alex Armstrong will try to flick it out of the zone. Phoenix Fortier has something to say about that. Armstrong will retrieve. Now for Berkio, taken by Kortomach. Now into the left corner, Fortier. Back to Kortomach. Throws it into the corner again. Tries to get it back to Fortier. Kortomach has to step up there. Still moving it along behind the net. Gallant battling with the Raider. Fitchburg Monty Tech trying to win the puck away. They'll flip it out of the zone. About 45 seconds in, change gone. Nearly a minute now. No score, no shots. Backhanded on goal by Jackson Leader, an 80-footer. Takes a hop in front of Bergeron. He has to batten down the hatches to make the stop. Now flipped up ice for Fortier. At the blue line, he'll dump in and it'll be paddled away by Minardi. The left wing corner, Raiders try to get it out of the zone. Knocked down by Kyle Gendron. Now up is Austin Haas. Haas into the left wing corner, wore 29 last year, wears 11 this year. Was able to do a whole lot with it. As Brody Kenny tries to get it out of the zone. First effort unsuccessful, second effort gets it past Cam Bagnosh. Now Kenny with a shot wide. Had Silvio to his left wing, but took the shot, missed the net. Behind the net it goes, and Kenny trying to move it around. Gendron gets a stick on it, battling with Chobi Bolak. At the blue line, it'll come out, back in. Bernardians were onside, but the Raiders got to it first anyway. Off the boards, down the ice, all the way to Bergeron, who'll just stick it aside. Gendron on the left side boards. Tries to throw it in front, was looking for Bruno in the slot. Bruno gets it, tries to throw it towards goal, gets the blue painted, nothing farther than that. To the right wing corner, 12:50 to go, first period, no score. Back in it along the boards, near side. Bernardians trying to take it out, stretch pass out to the right side, looking for Brody Kenny. Out of his reach, hand up for a delayed call. It's going to be against Fitchburg. Power play perhaps upcoming for the Bernardians. Raiders take control behind the net, touch it up, and we have our first penalty with 12:32 to go in the first period. It'll be Cam Begnosh who will go to the penalty box. A multi-sport athlete, plays football for Monty Tech. So we'll see how the Bernardian power play rolls here. First man advantage opportunity of the contest.
24 Cam Begnosh, 2-minute minor for hooking, time of the penalty, 2:28, first period.
Hooking was the call against Begnosh, second-year varsity player for the Red Raiders. He'll be skidded up on the near side. There's a shot that's punched away. Mayu had the shot there for the Raiders. Throwing another shot towards goal, but offline. Players stumbling and bumbling everywhere in the neutral zone as the Bernardians just trying to reset. Raiders sufficiently killed 40 seconds of the power play. That's kept in though. Phoenix 40er dropping off. There's a high rising shot by Matt Sylvia, but just rises over the crossbar and off the backboards. Minute 4 to go on the power play, so it comes out to Maiola. On the left side boards, 2 Red Raiders to take that one. Trying to get out of zone, kept in by Matthew Sylvia. The left circle, his pass intercepted. Mayu got in the way of that, and he throws it down the river. Bergeron out of his net and goes to one knee to keep it along. Trying to keep the pressure on to see if they can catch the Raiders out in the line change. Can't do it though. Now the Bernardians need to freshen up the legs as well. Armstrong gets the puck first, stumbles behind the net. Colin Madgewitz on the right wing boards. Battling with Gendron. Armstrong tries to clear it. Madgewitz getting in the way of that. Second effort, gets it out to the left point, but it's kept in by Kortemach. Now thrown to the left corner, knocked down by Jackson Leader. He tries to clear it out of the zone. Kortemach intercepts again. Tries to throw it towards goal, doesn't get a lot of velocity on it. Madgewitz can't keep it in, and the Raiders clear. 10 seconds to go on the penalty to Begnosh. Ryan Hill trying to retrieve, but Gendron gets in the way of that. And you can see how tenacious this Raider kill is as they're able to kill off the penalty, and no shots on target for the Bernardians on that man advantage. Gavin Roy, wearing big number 33, had a touch on there. It's thrown around the boards to the right wing corner. Bernardians get it. Leader can't keep it in the zone. And rushing up ice is St. Bernard's. Making the moves, Ryan Gallant, 6 goals already this year. Gets deked out. There's a shot and a save by Minardi. Skating in to take the shot there on the loose puck was Brody Kenny. 10:04 to go, first period, no score. A lot of action, but only 3 shots on target in the first 4 minutes and 56 seconds of this contest. Thrown into the slot, and a shot goes just wide on the backhand of Jacob Langevin, who's looking for his first of the year. Pass up ice, looking for Ben Jeanette, intercepted. A shot on, blocked in front by the Raiders. Up to the near side, Nick Atkins skating it up on the right wing. A lot of players harassing him on the way. Mayu can't keep it in the zone. Begnosh will get to that one and slam it around the boards. 9:30 to go, first period, no score. Shots now 4-1 in favor of the Bernardians. Raiders just trying to keep it in the zone, able to regain control in the neutral zone and dump it back in. Jaheim Jah behind the net. Throws near side off the boards, finds Mayu instead. He'll push it right back in. Austin Haas trying to provide the pressure. Puck gets to Michael Lucas. He'll go out to the right side, try to find Langevin. Raiders will get to that one. Squeezing against the boards. Begnosh falls to the ice. Delayed call. It's going to be against St. Bernard's. And Minardi can go off of the extra attacker. St. B's does steal it away to make sure that Minardi's not going to be able to get to the bench. now Fitchburg Monty Tech will have their first power play of the contest with 8:51 to go in the first period. Jacob Langevin, the junior forward. He's from Holden. Called for the infraction. You can see it there. So Begnosh, who committed the first penalty of this game, draws the penalty that will put Fitchburg Monty Tech on their first power play of the contest. It's Hines out to that left point. High rising shot over the net. Hines will retrieve, one of the captains for the Raiders. Off for Paquette, now to the left circle for Berkio. Armstrong, top of left circle with a shot, deflects, but over the net. Retrieved in the corner by the Red Raiders. It's Paquette, and now that pass out of the reach of Hines. There's a lot of pressure put on there by Galan. Already 6 goals this year. Armstrong doing everything he could to dispossess, prevent him from actually getting a shot on.
2-minute minor for tripping, and the time of that penalty is 6:09 first period.
Tripping was the penalty against Langevin, as the shot by Gendron is kicked away by Bergeron. Pinball's out of the zone. St. Bees will backhand it into the Raider end and change lines. 1:05 to go on the power play, 7:55 to go in the first, no score. Hines racing up ice. Dispossessed by a lot of players, one of them losing their stick to make the dispossession. Paquette trying to get a shot, whiffs on it, and it's immediately spit down the ice by the blue and gold. Reaching the halfway point of this first period, Phoenix 40, or David Hill, excuse me, lurking around in the Raiders' end, trying to make it a little more challenging for the Raiders to make their way back up ice. Seen some sticks flying. Cody Berkio lost his, gets his back. Hines with a shot, saved by Bergeron with the glove, dropped out of it. Left down in front, but his teammates there to support and get it out of the zone. Begnosh tries to go to Hines, now to Paquette. Into the zone, offside is going to be the call. One pass too many. 12 seconds to go in the man advantage for the Red Raiders. 7:03 to go in the first. No score. Steve Lowney, his 18th year as head coach for the Fitchburg Monty Tech Red Raiders. 195 career victories coming into today. Getting to 200 by season's end, definitely an achievable goal. Penalties up to Langevin. He's out of the box, because that was dumped down the ice before Langevin was released from the bin. That can't go for icing. Now the Bernardians back to full strength. His players getting tied up in the neutral zone. Matthew Sylvia going to the ice. Far side, that comes out of the zone. Settled down by Owen Tolson. Dump it in, Mayu. Trying to move it along, and that'll bounce just in front of the net. Austin Haas, Travis Carlson there for the Raiders. Mayu at his own blue line, passes up for Bruno. Around the boards it goes, retrieved by Cody Warren. Raiders get it in front, centering pass just a bit off the mark. Begnosh overskates the puck, and perhaps a 3-on-1 for St. Bernard. Settled down, and right in front of the doorstep, they cannot get the shot off. Sylvia had the feed, but the Bernardians couldn't provide the finish. Now Bruno racing back the other way, all the way to the slot on the other end, but he can't get a shot away either. Now thrown from the boards towards goal, eventually comes back to Bergeron, and he's able to glove that one and hold for a draw. 5:43 to go in the first, no score. Have a look again at that last scoring opportunity. See, Sylvia gets it settled down. He's trying to get it back. 2 different Bernardians to try to find, but it's out of the reach of Toby Molak. It's also out of the reach of Brody Kenny. Couldn't find either of them, but if I found either of their sticks, that could have been a 1-0 lead for St. Bees. Dumped in off the boards for Lance. Nice move from Majewicz. Behind the net, left wing corner. St. Bees trying to protect, but leader with the take. Stretches it up ice, looks for Roy on the bounce. Come along for Jeanette. Roy there as well, but sped out of the zone by Majewicz. Down the ice, won't get for icing. As much as Jackson Leader would have liked that. Murray trying to bounce it off the boards. Two Bernardians there to foul that up. Leader trying to move for Atkins. Taken by Gallant. He's not able to get a clean shot away in the left circle. Gallant gets it back in the left corner though. Sells up for 40er. His shot was blocked in front. Second chance. Back up through to Minardi. He stops it with the pad. Cleared out of the zone. And the Bernardians looking to reset to Ryan Hill. The alternate captains. Matchwitz gets a touch on that, but well behind his blue line. That'll go all the way down for icing. 4:26 to go in the first. Easton Minardi, third-year varsity goaltender for the Red Raiders. He's got 5 saves on the contest. Chase Bergeron, second-year varsity goaltender for the Bernardians. Shot through a lot of traffic, but didn't find its way to the net. Matthew Sylvia trying to protect in front of his own bench, dumps down the ice, touches someone on the way, so no icing. Begnosh, go to Mayu. Mayu trying to protect, circles back, throws along the boards for Hines on the right side, boards back in his own end, tries to bounce it off the boards, didn't get much on it, is shot right on goal as a result, but it's stopped by Minardi. Far side, St. B's keeping it in, back into the right wing corner. Mayu able to get there. Not able to nudge it along very much though. Nick Paquette now behind his own net will try to come out from the left side this time. But he's having a little bit of trouble getting it out of the zone. Gets picked up by Begnosh, his own guy. That's not helping. Shot from the right point by Ja. Ends up missing the net, goes behind. Clearing attempt now goes off at Berkio. Raiders really trapped in their own zone, finally get it out. Now Mayu has to skate parallel to the blue line because one of his players is well in the zone. Has to wait for him to tag back up. St. B's settling it back in their own end. Now the Raiders want to put the pressure on St. B's. 3:05 to go in the first, no score. Shot 6-4 in favor of the Raiders. Nice wrister from the left side, ends up going behind the net. The puck makes its way all the way back down to the Raider end. Begnosh first to arrive. Off the boards. Missed one player, the other one was going off for a change. St. B's will have that. Evan Walker, left circle, shot, saved by Minardi. And a low for the draw. Flashes the glove in front of the face. He's got his 7th save of the contest. Face-off will be to Minardi's right. Puck will come all the way out of the zone, have to be retrieved by Warren. He's got the highest number of the skaters for St. B's, number 27. Going around the boards to the left side. Owen Tolson keeping it in, throwing it around. Jackson Leader wasn't able to get much on that centering pass, but there was nobody in blue waiting in the slots. Bruno had the best look of all, and he's wearing the wrong shirt. Pushed into the boards, Michael Lucas. Now up to the left point. Tolson tries to move it along. Touched along by Evan Walker. To the right side, Jedrick trying to get to that puck. Shakes off. A hit from Walker, 12-on-12 action. Now Jedrick will continue to move it along. 5 goals this year. He's the leading goal scorer for the Red Raiders. Third-year varsity with the Red Raiders. 4th year playing MIAA hockey. He played as an 8th grader at Gardner. Then he went to Monty Tech, get the free transfer. Left wing corner, Bruno battling. Pass there as well, but now 2-on-2 coming up for the Bernardians from Evan Walker. Tries to get a backhand shot, may have hit the side of the net. Haas tries to get it out of the zone, only kept in. Put back around the boards. With 1:12 to go in the first period, still no score. Shot holding at 7-4 in favor of the blue and gold. Tossed back around the boards.
Last minute of play in the first period.
General point signals that we're under 60 seconds to go in this opening frame. 90-foot shot is going to be patted away by Minardi. Puck left there. And Plant can't get a clean shot away. pressure too much. Thrown off the boards. There's Berkio waiting at the blue line. Earns a breakaway. Earns a goal! He was sitting at the blue line waiting for the puck to come his way. The Raiders send it down the ice. Send it to Berkio. He puts on the moves and beats Bergeron 5-hole to open the scoring. Only one man to beat in Warren, who tries to do what he can to stop Berkio, but he just had that skate, he had that step. And out of almost nowhere, it's the Red Raiders who get the first strike in this contest. St. Beast with an on-man rush, 2-on-1. They shoot and score! It slips through the cracks, and just like that, 22 seconds later, it's a 1-1 game through Ryan Gallant. The alternate captain with the bad angle. You can see Minardi was looking over his shoulder.
Assisted by number 17, Jackson Leader. Time of that goal was 14-21, first period. Bernardian goal was by number 19, Ryan Gallant. Assist to number 3, Jahim Jah. And number 10, Colin Majewicz. Time of that goal was 14-43.
So you can see on the replay that Minardi was respecting Phoenix 40 or on the doorstep, respecting the shot and the opportunity to make the pass there. But Gallant was able to get the shot off and find a hole to put it past Minardi. So after 14 plus minutes of scoreless play, the last minute brings us 2 goals, one for either side. And through 15 minutes of play, it's a 1-1 hockey game. What an exciting first period. An exciting first period gives us a moment to thank our FATV underwriters. We can tell you, though, our FATV remote productions are presented by Rollstone Bank and Trust, Acme Carpet One, Leominster Credit Union, the Sentinel Inn Enterprise, and Minuteman Press, and we thank them for all that they do to help make all of these remote productions possible. A lot of action. You were thinking goals were going to come eventually. It took almost the entire frame to find them, but a nice pair of goals for either side. One for either side, and through 15 minutes of play, it's Fitchburg Monty Tech 1 and St. Bernard's 1. So we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll recap the first a little bit. Talk a little more about what these two teams can look forward to in the second, maybe even have a special guest come into the booth. So stick with us. This is Hockey Night in Fitchburg, right here on FATV. Back here at the Wallace Civic Center here in Fitchburg. Getting ready for the second period of action here in game number 1 of our Hockey Night in Fitchburg doubleheader between the Fitchburg Monty Tech Red Raiders and the St. Bernard's Bernardians. 1-1 through 15 minutes of play. Daniel Volak here with you on FATV. Shots 9-5 in favor of St. Bernard's, but the chances overall relatively even. And it took until the final minute before we found any goals. Before we get to that, let's play some of the highlights from that first period so you can see all of the action that we had. You know, they got at it right from the opening puck drop. You can see a good shot there. Great blocker save by Chase Bergeron. Easton Minardi with 8 saves in the first frame as well. Some good hits, some good action. There was a great chance that St. Bees nearly broke the ice with a centering pass, just couldn't find the target. Cody Berkio sprung on a breakaway with 38 seconds. He gets his 4th goal of the season. That made it 1-0, but just 22 seconds later, it was the leading goal scorer for St. Bernard's, Ryan Gallant, who got his 7th goal of the season on a 2-on-1. With a player just lurking at the doorstep, Minardi had to respect the shot. respect all the opportunities there. That was enough to give Gallant time and space to find a hole for his 7th goal of the season. A goal a game pace for the alternate captain, the junior. And 1-1 the score as we get ready to start this second period. And as I promised, we do have a special guest with us here on Hockey Night in Fitchburg. Joining me in the booth for the second period is the athletic director of Fitchburg Public Schools, Todd Robbins.
Hi there, Dan. It's good to be back on Hockey Night in Fitchburg. It's been a long time.
You know, you've been at it for so long. I remember as a little kid actually listening to you call games.
Oh, well, that just aged me a little bit, but I appreciate that. And Nate's still at the board, so we're both in it together under Joe Trudella all those years. Michael Clare's here tonight. He used to operate camera in the end zone. So it's a great reunion of sorts for Hockey Night in Fitchburg tonight.
Yeah, you know, Jim LaPointe, who's always been at the board.
Indeed.
He's been a stalwart here at the Civic Center for so long. Now, it does sound like I just made you sound tremendously old. You're only about 6 years older than I am, because you started as a high schooler and I didn't start until I was in college.
That's right. That's right. Very lucky to have gotten started very early. And started at Hockey Night in Fitchburg winter 2001, I believe. So, been a little while, but it's great to be back, and what a great game we're being treated to.
Oh yeah, action-packed. Yeah, the first period of action. First period, just action on both sides, good scoring chances both teams. Yeah, 9-5 were the shots through one period of play, but it didn't feel that indicative. You know, like both teams had some other chances that didn't quite make its way to either netminder, but both teams were really right in it.
And no question about it. A great celebration of hockey in Fitchburg. We get Fitchburg Monty Tech and St. Bernard, all one place at the same time.
As Colin Hines trying to get towards goal, but lost the puck off his stick. The Raiders with a little bit of zone time. Begnosh with a shot. That's cut down in front, but loose, and scored! Jacob Bruno from the right circle pitchforks that in, and the Raiders are back on top. Sustained zone pressure is a heck of a thing, isn't it?
No question about it. And just slapped at the puck at the right time, scoops it top shelf.
Beautifully done there by Prudo. His first goal of the season, had 7 last year. Getting him on the board there, the senior. He's one of 3 captains on this team. And a 2-1 lead now for Fitchburg Monty Tech. Kyle Jennerin making his way up ice. Trying to move it along to Pruno. Now back to Jennerin. Behind the net, the left wing corner. Battling with Michael Lucas. Tries to dispossess against the boards. Eventually won away by David Hill. Toss around the boards and thrown out of the zone by the Bernardians.
26, Jacob Pruno. Assist to number 24, Cam Begnosh. Time of the goal, 1:38. Second period.
Cam Begnosh will get the lone assist on the goal by Pruno. First goal of the season for Pruno, and for Begnosh, his first assist of the season. Begnosh already beat him to the punch goal scoring wise, already had 2 on the board. So while we have you here, Todd, why don't you talk a little bit about all of the winter sports that are going on?
I'll tell you, it's been a great start to the winter sports season. Got to give a tip of the cap to the boys basketball program. Got themselves a big program-defining win last night, 65-55 over Wachusett on the road. It's a huge victory for the team, the type of confidence boost they need, get them back floating right around that 500 mark, and really got to demonstrate the quality basketball team that they are. You know, they've struggled early on against some difficult opponents, but really a great start to the year to pick up a win against Wachusett in the early part of January. It sets the table for what could be an exciting run down the stretch through the end of January and into fall.
Always a challenge to go up to the Badlands, to the field house, and to try to take down Wachusett at their own place, but that's a big win for the boys basketball team. I know the girls had a classic opponent last night.
They did, little rivalry matchup with Leominster, tough loss for the girls, but you know, it's a growing and developing program, you know, and I think that's something that people have got to really sort of put into context, where, you know, we've got a lot of natural athletes, but maybe ones that haven't necessarily played in an organized fashion. So a lot of them are either first-time varsity players or first-time formal basketball players, and so they are learning the ropes of playing a team-based game, which is far different than something you might do in a pickup game or something on the playground. So it's a growing process. It's a continued work in progress, but I give great credit to the girls. You know, they don't quit. They pursue. They work hard, and they come to practice every day ready to go, and they give their best in each and every game.
Indeed. It's a great backhand chance by Hines deep in the slot. Just put it a little too high over the net. Shots 3-0 in this period, all Fitchburg Monty Tech. They've got the goal in this frame with 11-12 to go in the second period. They lead 2-1. They've really been dominating the zone time in this frame.
Indeed, they have. A lot of sustained pressure, as you said, you know, sort of on the last drive. And now here you are again, another situation, another series of extended zone time. Very impressed.
See 3-4 players tripping over each other, and there's a good shot that's gobbled up by the sophomore keeper, Chase Bergeron.
Take my hat off to the St. Bernard's team, though, Dan. Young program, 11 freshmen. Athletic Director Ray Kazenza was telling me when we were talking prior to the game, I mean, A, that's great for the future of their school, but it's also great for the future of their ice hockey program, getting St. Bernard's back to a place where 25-odd years ago, you know, they were dominant in this region. They were so good they got moved up to Division II.
Yeah, they were in higher divisions, but then over the years, you know, as the enrollment dwindled at St. B's, so did the participation in ice hockey. They were getting to the point they were having trouble rolling two lines, and for a few years they had to co-op with St. Peter Marion. They could not host their own program because they were just so low on numbers. And it's just tremendous to see them get back at it. There's the first shot on goal of the period for the Bernardians from Brody Kenny, and that'll be gobbled up by Easton Minardi.
And a rising tide raises all boats, Dan, which is good for hockey in Fitchburg. To have a quality St. Bernard's program in town, it's going to push, obviously, our student athletes and student athletes at Monty Tech, who we work together with to keep getting better and to dominate the crosstown rivalry.
And that's a co-op that has existed for so much longer. I think Dave Reed, the longtime athletic director of Monty Tech, will tell you that's a co-op I think probably even predates our lifetimes.
Indeed, it's been a long, sustained co-op. You know, Coach Kazenza was saying to me just a few minutes ago, it is probably one of the longest co-ops in the state of Massachusetts on top of it.
But it's a great partnership that has existed for so long. So there's a chance through the paint trying to find Toby Bolak on the left side. I went over it earlier. I don't know what my relation is to him at this time. As I mentioned, you know, Luke Bolak, who is a standout football player, is playing basketball this year for the Red Raiders, and you know, his older brother Max, who was a 50-goal scorer for the Red Raider ice hockey team. They're my fourth cousins.
Okay.
And I imagine I'm related to all the Bolaks in some way. It's just a matter of trying to figure out where exactly it falls on the tree.
Indeed.
That's thrown in and patted away by Bergeron, left wing corner, trying to throw it back towards the paint. Gendron now for Haas. His pass intercepted. Not able to get it out of the zone. Begnosh able to keep it in. Gendron on the left side. Throws it on goal. Gobble up by Bergeron. He'll hold. 9:04 to go in the second period of play. 2-1 to Fitchburg Monty Tech.
Talk about other exciting things going on from an athletic department standpoint at Fitchburg, Dan. I can't not mention our migration to digital and cashless ticketing using the GoFan application. It's been a tremendous conversion. It was on hand here today at the Civic Center for the first time. Great adoption out there. If people can sort of get used to buying their tickets in advance, things go much faster at the gate. So you go online just like you would with Ticketmaster or Live Nation or what have you for other sporting events or concerts. You go to gofan.co, you look up Fitchburg High School, you'll see the entire schedule of games where tickets are on sale now for the whole winter. You can buy your tickets right now. Just walk to the gate, show your ticket, click it, it digitally rips, and you're into the game. It's all of about a 3-second process. And if not, you need to buy your tickets at the gate. There are cashless kiosks available at every home game, whether it's here at the Civic Center or over at the Fieldhouse as well.
Well, that's great to hear, too. I know as technology continues to improve, more and more people are discontinuing the old-timey process of carrying cash around with them.
Indeed.
Now you don't have to worry about making sure you've got enough money with you, making sure you're having to take trips to the ATM. You've got the ability to build it right into your app, put it right on your card. Makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, and everything comes right to your email.
Oh, there's a great wrap on chance, another chance in front, they score! I think it was Mayu who got it in the left circle. After all of that pinballing around, the Red Raiders lead Boy, did it go helter-skelter there. Look at the wraparound chance.
Great save.
A great save by Bergeron, but it comes right out to Mayu, who's able to fire it right past. He's got his first goal of the season, the senior defenseman. 3-1 to Fitchburg Monty Tech. The first period was relatively balanced between these two teams, and St. Bernard's was out shooting Fitchburg in terms of the shots that got on target. This second period thus far has been all Fitchburg Monty Tech. However, the momentum could change with this penalty. Interference has been indicated. And for Cam Begnosh, he is going to make his second trip to the sin bin today.
Interference might be the polite way to term that one, Dan. That one could have been gone for boarding as well.
And, oh yeah, and the other thing to remember is in the NFHS rulebook, boarding's an automatic 5. So interference does limit the penalty to just 2 minutes. And it gives St. Bernard's their second power play of the contest.
Penalty number 24, Cam Begnosh, 2-minute minor for interference. Time of that penalty, 7:21, second period. Raider third goal was scored by number 13, Brett Mayo. Assist to number 11, Austin Haas. And number 24, Cam Begnosh. Time of that goal, 7:02.
Begnosh did happen to factor in on that
period.
last goal against the secondary assist. He's got 2 helpers on the day. So he's been involved in just about everything, really, for better or for worse.
Get yourself on the score sheet. There's no doubt about that. No question you were here today.
Jim Boyce had to write down a lot of 24s. Here is a 2-on-1. Colin Hines with a shot. It's turned aside by Bergeron. 45 seconds already killed on this man advantage and already dumped back down the ice. We were talking about it in the Assabet game. Fitchburg had 3 shorthanded goals in that contest. I know Steve Lowney's told the the Sentinel and Enterprise, the S&E, afterwards that, you know, it's not the best thing to be taking that many penalties and to be putting yourself in shorthanded situations, but, well, they made up for it at least, and pass called.
The continued pressure, though, is what you're seeing there. The continued sustained pressure. They have not taken their foot off the gas, even though they are technically on the penalty kill.
Shot 17 to 11 in this period. See Alex Armstrong getting a hit on there as the Raiders continue to force the issue. They win the draw as well as Paquette keeps control of it, is able to get a shot off. Bergeron makes the save. Every second Nick Paquette's got the puck on his stick is a second that St. Bernard's is losing on their power play, now down to just 46 seconds.
And not often when you're on the power play, you're looking to dump and chase and try to get out of your own zone.
This time, though, the Bernardians will win the draw. He'll be held by Ryan Hill, one of the alternate captains for this blue and gold team. Now, Hill's a multi-sport athlete. He's one of a few football players on this team for St. Bernard's. Ryan Gallant trying to throw it towards goal, but goes behind the net. Shots in this period are 13-2 in favor of the Red Raiders. Fitchburg Monty Tech had just 5 shots in the first frame, and through 9 minutes in the second, they've already got 13. Just shows how dominant this second period has been in terms of them controlling the tempo. Just 5 seconds to go on this man advantage. Leader tries to backhand out of the zone, turn back towards goal, Menardi pads it away, and split down the ice, back to full strength. Go the Red Raiders as Begnosh comes out of the box. An icing called against St. B's.
Dan will also mention our indoor track program having a great season. They are off today at the freshman-sophomore meet at Reggie Lewis Center in Roxbury. Been represented now at 3 meets in Eastern Mass. And this, of course, is this new format that the Midwatch League is using. So on Wednesday nights, we're one of 3 host facilities where there are 9 schools that come in and actually compete in the area for individual records to qualify for these larger meets. And so this is the 3rd meet of the season, exclusively for freshmen and sophomores from Massachusetts, competing at one of the best facilities, obviously, in the region and perhaps in the country for indoor track.
Bergeron do a little bit of work there through that last shot off of Gendron. You know, and Fitchburg is rather blessed to be one of those few schools in the Midwatch that does have a field house. that can host track and field.
And I have to say, a track and field meet, one of the most unique things to see from not just an administrative standpoint, but I would imagine from a broadcast standpoint, where you have like 3 events going on simultaneously. Very different than watching action that is sort of like football or ice hockey, where you're focused on sort of where the puck is. There's so much going on. It's a heck of a lot of fun to be involved with.
Yeah, there's so many things that you could be looking at. You could be looking at whatever's going on in the track. You could be looking at the shot put. Shot through traffic, and Bergeron with the glove snares that one out of the air. 18 saves already for the sophomore netminder. 4:31 to go, second period. Fitchburg Monty Tech 3, St. Bernard's 1.
Credit that glove of Bergeron, by the way, Dan. I've been very impressed in challenged situations. He's made a lot of great saves with that glove. That one came across the body to make the sort of backhand move with the glove.
I've been told it's a family of goaltenders, the Bergeron family. His older sister Hannah played varsity hockey for St. B's in her senior season. Played at the Winchendon School and at Leominster as an 8th grader in girls hockey, and now plays at Arcadia out in Pennsylvania. Wow. So Chase, just another goalie in that pedigree. Already 19 saves for him. Last year he was the lone netminder on this roster for St. Bernard's. This year he's got a couple other goalies that can actually spell him. And that's really another one of those luxury, with St. Bernard's getting more kids to come to the school. That means, more players on the team. You can run more lines. You have reserve options if something goes wrong with the one goalie that you've got, so on and so forth. And it's great to see this team develop. They were a 2-win team in their first full season after the pandemic and improved to 12 wins this past season. This year, started 0-3, back up to 500, trying to get back above 500 to win today, but they're in a bit of a hole. 3.5 to go in the second period and a 3-1 lead for Fitchburg Monty Tech. You can see having a little bit of trouble getting shots away. Only 3 shots in this period for the Bernardians. It's going to go into the bench. That very much hits someone in the bench, so they've got to stop play.
Nobody really, from an officiating standpoint, sort of in no man's land between the two. But I'm like, oh, that definitely, somebody caught that puck and then dropped it back on the ice, as the case may be.
Yep. And in high school ice hockey, it's just 2 referees, no linesmen.
That's right.
We'll add a linesman when we get to the postseason, but for now, it's just 2 referees. No armbands because they both have equal power.
That's right. A great challenge out there right now to get officials. Obviously, we talk about it in every sport, but ice hockey in particular, because there's that secondary factor. One has to be able to skate to officiate this sport, so it is a very unique skill set. If there are any hockey folks out there, I know the local hockey boards, not just here in Central Mass, but all over the state, are looking for people who want to be ice hockey officials. And eventually, it's going to be a do-or-die difference of being able to have these games happen, is the need for officials. So please consider coming out and getting involved as an official to continue to be involved in athletics and to support athletics in the long run.
Here's a 2-on-1 now for the Red Raiders in the zone. The shot broken up by Chase Kortemach. Kortemach, another player who was a multi-sport athlete for St. Bernard's. He was getting first-team reps due to injuries this season for the Bernardians. There's a backhand across trying to find Matthew Sylvia. Shots in this period, 18-3 in favor of Fitchburg Monty Tech. They sure like shooting at this end better.
I got the fans hanging over. I mean, absolutely.
Under 2 to go in the frame. 3-1. Fitchburg Monty Tech in front. Oh, there's a turnover, a steal, and a great save by Minardi. Colin Madgewitz looking for his first goal of the season. He's been a bit snake bit, and he had a golden opportunity. Wasn't a bad shot either, just Minardi got it.
Great job, not being frazzled, coming across the crease, squaring up, taking away the angle.
See the pass, just tried to find Gendron, but found Madgewitz lurking in the slot.
Busting clear, never want to clear through your own slot.
Yeah, it's a dangerous pass. Minardi had to be ready before he could even get whatever expletive in his head he was probably thinking when he saw that pass. Now St. B's trying to re-enter the zone, carried up by Joseph Maiola, but he loses the handle. Delayed call coming here. And we'll have the touch up. This penalty is going to go against St. Bernard's. A slash indicated.
Dan gives me an opportunity to thank my friends and media partners here at FATV for the fantastic coverage you guys offer all year long in support of athletics, whether it's sights and sounds games, because you guys can't physically be anywhere no matter how hard you try, or whether it's the full-blown broadcast, you guys, under the great leadership of your executive director, Nate Glennie, and the rest of the staff, along with yourself and so many others, volunteers that come out to make this possible. And I mean, the action, the coverage is second to none. The cameras you guys have rolled out, the angles people can see. I can't say enough great things, and thank you all enough for coming out and covering Fitchburg High School athletics.
We always love doing it. Armstrong gets the shot that goes wide as Hines tries to pick up on the right side boards in the circle. Now back to Hines. Hines through traffic with velocity, but not with accuracy. Comes off the boards for Berkio, and it's going to be cleared by Hill all the way down the ice. And on target to Minardi, he'll paddle it along. 30 seconds to go in the period. Penalty will carry over to the third unless the Raiders find the back of the net or other shenanigans happen. It's always the unforeseen. Berkio, in front of the Bernardian bench, the blue line. Gets to Paquette on his backhand, gains the zone. Now sells it right circle, tries to pass across. A trip there as Gendron was taken to ice. Methinks we're looking at a 5-on-3.
Benefit for the red and gray with a splash of purple going into the third period.
8 seconds to go in the frame. Chase Quartermach is going to sit for the trip. And 5-on-3 for 57 seconds. Definitely making things go from bad to worse. A shot through traffic, and Bergeron somehow was able to see it and snare it. He was ready for that.
This game could be a lot more lopsided, but for the great glove work of Bergeron.
Draw won by the Raiders, threw one more in front, and two good chances at the buzzer. Bergeron able to stop one. I think his defense helped him out on the other one, but I think he would have gotten it anyway. Man, that was a period for the Red Raiders. They scored twice. They put 20 shots on goal in 15 minutes time. That's a big number for such a small period of time.
Pressure, pressure, pressure. You know, in hockey, we don't do time of possession, Dan, but I'll tell you, time of possession was substantial in the second period in the favor of the red and gray.
The 18th year head coach Steve Lowney said all of the right things during the first intermission. And with that, the Raiders outshoot the Bernardians 20-5 in the second frame and outscore them 2-0 to take a 3-1 lead into the second intermission. While we have a moment, want to take a moment to thank our FATV underwriters. FATV's remote productions are brought to you by Rollstone Bank and Trust, Acme Carpet One, Leominster Credit Union, the Sentinel and Enterprise, and Minuteman Press. We thank them all for providing the support we need to get all these broadcasts going and to do all these remote broadcasts. And we thank our wonderful crew working today's game. Nate Glennie is our director. Travis Falk, our technical supervisor, doing audio and graphics. Isaiah Manuel is doing replay. Robin Como, Evan Schachenbach, and Keith Perry are on camera today, and we thank them all for all of the efforts. And we thank you, Todd Robbins, for standing in here during the second period.
It was great visiting. You know, anytime you guys invite, I'll never miss the opportunity to jump back in and get to say hello. And I say just to the community simply, come on out and be a part of interscholastic athletics. You know, this sport of hockey, basketball, all the great things we do, indoor track, they're community events. They're not just for the parents of players or grandparents or what have you. They're events for the community. Come on out, be a part of the community, grab your tickets. They're on sale now on GoFan. Come to the gate and enjoy any of the great games. The price is right. You can get yourself 3 basketball games for $6 on a given night. So there's nothing wrong with being a part of the community, coming on out and enjoying some great Fitchburg High School athletics. We look forward to seeing you in the stands. Absolutely. Todd Robbins, Athletic Director of Fitchburg Public Schools, thank you so much for joining us for the second period. Thank you, sir. Take care. Thank you, and we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have the third period of action here for you. This is Hockey Night in Fitchburg on FATV.
back here at the Wallace Civic Center on the campus of Fitchburg State University, getting ready for the third period of action of game number 1 of our Hockey Night Fitchburg doubleheader between the Fitchburg Monty Tech Red Raiders and the St. Bernard's Bernardians. 3-1 in favor of the Red and Gray through 30 minutes of play. Daniel Bolak here with you. As that second period was pretty much all Fitchburg Monty Tech. After St. B's outshot the Raiders 9-5 in the first frame, 20-5 was the margin in favor of the Red Raiders in the second. Now, this highlight package, I think, will go some ways to show you some of the dominance. You could see Camp Bagnosh keeping in the zone, getting a shot on that was knocked down in front, but Jacob Furno able to pitchfork it past Chase Bergeron, gave the Red Raiders a lead less than 2 minutes into the second period. And you're going to see a lot of shots and a lot of chances. It's a big hit by Bagnosh. It was an illegal hit, but it was a big hit. Nick Paquette getting a shot. You can see Bergeron busy with the glove, trying to shoot glove side a lot. A wraparound chance. Bergeron got a piece of it, but it came back to Brett Mayu. Found his first goal of the year like that. Give him a 3-1 lead. So many chances for Fitchburg Monty Tech. That was just a selection of them. St. B's had maybe one very good chance, a steal, and Colin Madjewicz right in front of Easton Minardi, but Minardi able to make the reactionary save, stopped all 5 shots he faced in the second period. And the big thing for St. B's to start this third period is they've got to kill off some penalty time. 49 seconds of 5-on-3 time for the Red Raiders to start the third period of play. And another minute 3. Have one more look here. This is the penalty that led to 5-on-3. As Che Kortomach took out a player where the puck was nowhere near him. That was interference. Pretty textbook. So you can see Kortomach and Joseph Maiola having to sit in the bin. St. B starting with just 3 skaters on the ice to start the frame. 15 minutes of play in regulation. And the Raiders with a big man advantage to start. We'll see what they can do with it. They'll regain the zone from Gendron, popped it right back out to Hines. Now Barkio can't hold it, and sent all the way down. Evan Walker with a 110-foot shot. That'll be turned aside by Minardi. Now you can see St. B's buzzing around a little bit, not going to let the Raiders regain the zone that easily. Down to just 15 seconds to go on the man advantage. Paquette drops it off left circle, shot gobbled up by Bergeron. Face-off won by the Raiders. 5 to go on the 2-man advantage. Another shot, that one deflects wide. Paquette can't pick it up off the stick, and now the penalty to Maiola has expired. 5-on-4. Big shot, a big block. Trying to stretch it down ice. See if they can feed Jaheim Jah, but too far out of his reach. Jah's going to get to it first, though. Knock it away. Kyle Gendron get it on the far side. Nifty stick work. So bring it up the far end into the circle. Passes it off to Hines, but didn't get him on the right side of the stick. He tries to get back to General, come all the way around to the left side corner for Berkio. Cody Berkio holding on the left side boards. Dekes out Evan Walker, makes him lose his stick. So now Walker is stickless. 20 seconds in the power. Shot by Hines, gloved by Bergeron. He'll hold for a draw. Walker can retrieve his twig. 13:25 to go in the third period, 18 on the power play. Raiders out shooting the Bernardians by a 2-1 margin in this period. The shots on goal already 5 for the Raiders. Nothing yet for St. B's, but being on the kill all this time, that kind of figures. Gendron trying to get in deep, try to feed Berkio on the other side, just can't get the pass off. 7 to go on the advantage. Shot is blocked. A few more shot blocks by the Bernardians on this too. And another shot, another block as well, and another chance. Backhand shot was stopped by Bergeron. 6 saves and at least 4 blocks on that power play. That could give the Bernardians a little bit of momentum as they are now back to full strength with a minute 59 gone in the third period of action. 3-1, Fitchburg Monty Tech in front. The Red Raiders trying to break a 2-game losing streak. Lost on New Year's Eve to Lunenburg Air Shirley, then most recently on Wednesday to St. Paul. Only 1 goal in each of those games, but they've got 3 in this one. And 29 shots on Chase Bergeron. And down the ice, it will go all the way for an icing. No touch icing used in Federation rules. Although Cody Warren, one of several Leominster natives on the Bernardians, would have had that icing race won anyway. Bergeron also a Leominster native. Those from Leominster do outnumber those from Fitchburg on the St. B's roster. 6 Leominster natives, 2 Fitchburg natives. Those 2 are Matthew Sylvia, the son of head coach Steven Sylvia, the second-year head coach for the Bernardians, and Tyler McGarry, who is one of the 3 netminders on the roster, statistically serving as the number 2. Blasted into the zone by Bruno. Off the glass it'll go. Raiders will finish up the line changes as that will be slapped in by Ryan Hill to the right wing corner. Cam Begnosh first to arrive. Taken by Brody Kenny. Out the shot, that's cut down in front. The Raiders stick knocking that down, and here is Begnosh. He's got 2 assists today. He gets a shot off, and that's right into the St. B crest of Bergeron, and he gobbles it for his 27th save of the contest. 11:53 to go in the third. 3-1, Fitchburg Monty Tech in front. Don't forget, we have another game here on our Hockey Night Fitchburg doubleheader. At 5 o'clock, Fitchburg State will be taking on Salem State in the MASCAC matchup. Another shot through traffic by Mayu. He had a goal. That one just missing and dumped down for an icing. Fitchburg State coming off a 1-0 overtime victory over MCLA 2 nights ago. Adam Nedelka with a blast on the power play got the winner. So look forward to that as well. Draw comes to the right of Bergeron after the icing. They go high around the boards but stay in as Mayu was trying to find Hines deep in the slot. He's not able to get his twig on it. Paquette keeps it in the zone. Uses his stick work to try to get past Chase Kortemach. Paquette still in control, right in front! Oh, and a save by Bergeron. I think he got it with the paddle. May not have been the best wood on the shot, but still just enough to try to catch the goalkeeper out. As Paquette trying to keep control, surrounded by 3 Bernardians. St. B's keeps control. Gallant, he's got the goal for St. B's today. He's not able to keep control. Colin Hines on the far side picks it up. Hines doubling back, keeping it on his stick. Now finds Mayu, top of the right circle. His shot is deflected into the netting and out of play. 10:50 to go in the third. 3-1 to Fitchburg Monty Tech. Our next broadcast of Hockey Night in Fitchburg will be on Thursday the 11th, as the Red Raiders will be taking on the Blue Devils of Leominster High School. 6:30 start time. We'll have it here on FATV. And don't forget, next Saturday we'll have another doubleheader of hockey here. It'll start an hour earlier, so keep that in mind. At 1 and 4 o'clock for the doubleheader. At 1 o'clock, Fitchburg Monty Tech will be taking on the Chicopee Co-op squad. And at 4 o'clock, Fitchburg State will be taking on an old conference rival in Plymouth State. 2 of the best teams in the conference year in and year out doing battle. Don't want to miss that. That'll be a 4 o'clock start. That one out of play after it made its way into the Raider end. Easton Minardi has not faced a shot in this period. Chase Bergeron has faced 5. No goals points thus far in this third period of action. The Raiders continue to hold a 3-1 lead. Draw will come to the left of the junior netminder, Easton Minardi. Draw eventually controlled by the Raiders. And they'll skate it up. Here's Jackson Leader. Take the 85-footer. Bergeron will stop that. Ryan Hill will protect in the left wing corner. With Leader right on him. Leader's a Fitchburg High student. Definitely one of the standouts among those attending Fitchburg Public Schools. So Ryan Hill will go and chase this one down. In the left wing corner in the Bernardian attacking zone. Trying to set something up, see if they can get a shot somewhere. But a pass looking for Michael Lucas goes off the boards. Gavin Roy can't get it out of the zone. Ben Jeanette tries to backhand it out. Now they picked up by Nick Atkins. Atkins trying to gain the zone. He has an assist this year. Not much going there. Jedrin trying to time the entry as Atkins was leaving. Ultimately dumped into the zone. 9:20 to go in the third period and a 3-1 lead for Fitchburg Monty Tech. Jedrin behind the net. Gets tangled up with Kortemach. Just good old hockey battling. Along the boards and over the boards, up and out of play. Another draw coming to one side of Chase Bergeron. 28 saves for the sophomore netminder. Goals against may not improve too much, but came in with goals against around 3.2. See, with all the pressure, he's been doing what he can to weather the storm. With a lesser netminder, might already be 6 on the board for Fitchburg Monty Tech with how well Bergeron has played today. There's Austin Haas on the right side, battling Cody Warren. Haas moving around to the left circle. Put some stick work on there. Now shot by Begnosh, glove down by Bergeron. One thing that's been neat to see about Cam Begnosh and seeing how much he's been in the action today, how much he's been able to do on the ice. Last year was held off the score sheets, but he was playing first and second line minutes on the deep pairs. But this year he's really played well, at least in this contest too. There's a giveaway and Bergeron has to make a quick save. Bruno was lurking, the Bernardians didn't quite catch that. Today 2 assists and a drawn penalty for Begnosh. I've liked what I've seen out of him today. He's had a number of shots on target too. Creating opportunities and keeping the puck in the zone and keeping it protected. Behind the net, Jedrin. Now throw out in front. And Paquette just puts it over the net. Some quick, sharp passes there. Paquette had a great opportunity. Thought he was going to roof that thing. It's out of the zone it comes. Joseph Maiola on the left side boards. Gets a shot on. Minardi tracking it all the way. Gloves that down. That's the first shot on target for St. Bernard's in a number of minutes, especially in this period at the very least. Have a look at some of these great opportunities. 2 options to go in front. Goes off a player. Gets to Paquette. He settles it. Just isn't quite able to get it into that top right corner as he wanted. Raiders will bring it up ice, 2-on-2. Paquette drops it back for Hines. Throws towards goal, it's in! Through a maze of players and out the other side! And through Bergeron, the Raiders lead 4-1! That goal looked like it came out of almost nowhere. Hines was just trying to throw it in the direction of goal. Paquette led the handshake line. He might have gotten the redirect. Be his second goal of the season. The Raiders now leading by the maximum margin of victory in the power ratings. 3 goals, it's 4-1. And that's off the post. Tremendous pace on that shot. Another chance thrown in and wrestling in the paint. And something's got to be blown there. Besides the fact that Minardi's having trouble playing his position with a wrestling match going on in his blue paint, there's other issues going on with that. Pushing, shoving, frustration. And we will have, at the very least, a penalty against Alex Armstrong for the cross-check. Sounding like that's going to be the only penalty. So this will be power play number 3 for St. Bernard's, as the junior will sit for 2 minutes and think about what he's done. Draw 1 by the Raiders, and Hines quickly making his way, trying to get around the one man. Able to go behind the net, swoop around, keep possession of the puck, loses it for a moment, gets it back. Playing keep away is a perfectly valid way of killing penalty time. 20 seconds gone on that, and now the Bernardians can re-enter the zone. Magnosh gets to it and just throws it right around the boards, or it can't be kept in, and it'll go all the way back down.
The fourth goal is by number 3, Nick Paquette. Assist to number 20, Colin Hines. Time of that goal, 7:33.
The kick for Hines is the goal.
Raider penalty was on number 2, Alex Armstrong, a 2-minute minor for cross-checking. Time of that penalty, 7:52.
We know the cross-check against Armstrong, leading to this power play, which St. B's hasn't done a whole lot with. I do get the impression that Fitchburg Monty Tech is a pretty dangerous team on the kill. We know the reputation they've developed with those 3 shorthanded goals against Assabet. The Raiders seem like they know how to play when they're down a man. It's like trying to do a trick shot with an arm tied behind your back. The Raiders know how to do that one. 40 to go in the power play. They regain the zone from Hill. He's not able to get anything off. Good stick work there. There's Mayu, who was stepping up, puck behind the net. Minardi on his knees, watching, looking, tracking the puck. Still in the corner, Ryan Hill, the 2 alternate captains. Battling, the Raiders win the puck, and now Paquette skating it up ice. He'll keep control. Now he tries to get out in front, blows an edge. Down to the ice he goes, but it was clean. Clearing attempt settled down by Haas, thrown back in. Time is up on the penalty to Armstrong. He's out of the box. Back to full strength go the Raiders with 5 minutes to play in this contest. A 4-1 lead for Fitchburg Monty Tech. Colin Hines, left wing corner. Battling with Hill. He's on a long shift. Hill loses his feet. Hines had his stick in there, and they're going to call the trip. And Hines, who is one of the best penalty killers that the Raiders have, he'll have to sit in the sin bin for 2. Shots in this period, 9 for the Red Raiders, 2 for the Bernardians. Have a look at the trip again. But it's, I think, a pretty clear-cut one. He's got his stick in front. You can see Hines maneuver his stick in such a manner that down to the ice goes Hill. And yeah, you've got to call that.
Raider penalty number 20, Colin
So they
Hines.
did.
2-minute minor for tripping. Time of that penalty, 10:13.
Bernardians will regain the zone after the Raiders won the initial draw and spit it right out again. Already 20 seconds gone on this man advantage. Walker loses it at the blue line. It's back out of the zone again. Bernardians couldn't touch it because it'd be over and back. So they had to let the Raiders take it and send it down. Berkio battling with his stick, knocking away. Someone loses his stick. There's another shot that touched a bit of the iron there from Hill. Now out around to the left side trying to find Hill. See the shaft of that stick getting propelled from one side of the ice to the other, maybe trying to get it to the officials so they can get that cleared. One of the referees will hold on to it. They'll just get it to the corner safely, to the near side boards. Keep that away. Bernardians regain the zone. Backhand chance goes around the boards. Picked up on the left side. Strong hit into the boards by the Raiders. The Jackson leader able to win that puck and dump it down. 3:28 to go in the contest. 40 to go on the power play for St. Bernard's. Haven't looked too strong on this man advantage yet. Again, Fitchburg Monty Tech is very, very good on the man advantage. Haas gets decked, has a stick going flying. Gallant gets a shot that's stopped by Minardi. The Raiders clear again. 20 to go on the advantage. Bergeron backhand it to Jaheim Ja, who go and retrieve. Chase Kortomach. Up ice, right side. Brody Kenny. Squeezed off into the boards. Raiders clear it again. That's going to kill off the rest of the penalty. Hines will come out of the box with fresh legs. Although he's going to be exchanged for somebody else as they go back to full strength as Atkins will come on instead. 2:35 to go in the game. 4-1 Fitchburg Monty Tech in control. First 15 minutes was relatively even. The last 27 and a half, not so much. But here's Toby Bolak. In the left circle, high rising shot goes over the net. It already tracked it till he knew that it wasn't going to be beating him if he let it go. And on the near side, here's Gavin Roy into the zone. Flips it in, tries the self pass. Will retrieve for a moment. Gets it settled, under 2 to go. On the near side, Phoenix Fortier. He'll skate it in. Thrown on goal, kicked away by Minardi. Fortier will get it back. Harassed by 2 Red Raiders. They'll force the dispossession, and Mayu will move it along for Roy. Dropped off for Jeanette, now Mayu. He gets a shot and the glove save by Bergeron. 32 saves for Chase Bergeron in this contest. He has played very well. But it's a matter of weathering a storm. 11 shots in this period for the Raiders, 4 for the Bernardians. In fact, since the beginning of the second period, the shots on goal, 31 to 9 in favor of Fitchburg Monty Tech, and the score has been 3 to 0 across that same time frame. Bagnosh keeps it in, gets a shot, changes direction multiple times. Comes back to Roy in the right corner. This pass ends up hitting the referee. No worse for wear. But a 3-on-2 now developing. On the far side, Jake Langevin will run right into the Raider there. Bagnosh not going to let him advance so easily. Roy drops it off. Langevin with a touch on. Jeanette trying to steal it. Back and forth, taken back by Leader. He'll go to Bagnosh. 50 to go. That one flies high in the air, doesn't touch the ceiling. It stays in play. Far side at the red line. Lucas not able to do much with it. Raiders will move it along to Austin Haas. Haas with a shot gobbled up by Bergeron. They'll hold with 28.8 to go in the game. Raiders well on their way to breaking that 2-game losing streak, breaking the Bernardians' 3-game winning streak. These two teams played twice last year, as they do as Coughlin Conference opponents. They split the meetings. Raiders won the first, Bernardians won the second. Perhaps St. B's may think of a little bit of revenge on the 30th. One more penalty coming this way. And now they'll blow it there with 8.4 to go. And Chase Kortomach will spend the last 8.4 seconds of the game in the sin bin. Wasn't too happy with the call, but it is the call that was made. Guardians do win the draw to at least knock it away. Fitchburg won't have another opportunity to put any more goals on the board. They don't need to put any more goals on the board as the buzzer sounds and Fitchburg Monty Tech takes the victory 4-1. First 15 minutes of this game, rough and tumble. highly energetic, great chances by both teams. Goals in the final minute, one for each side. But ever since the first intermission, the Raiders put together a game plan and they took control of this game. 20 shots on goal in the second period of play and 2 goals to show for it, and another goal on 12 shots.
Bernardians had 4 for a
Third.
total of 18, and your final score here at the Civic Center on this matinee Saturday game. The Fitchburg Monty Tech Raiders 4 and the Bernardians of St. Bernard's 1. Your final here today. Up next at the Civic Center ice, Fitchburg State Falcons take on Salem State Vikings at 5 p.m.
So a great game really by these two sides. If I had to pick any 3 stars, 4 different goal scorers, Berkio, Bruno, Mayu, and Paquette had the goals for the Red Raiders. Cam Begnosh had 2 assists. I'd probably give him one of my stars. But after that, it's really hard to pick. I know the goaltending was pretty solid. I was impressed with Bergeron. He conceded 4 goals, but 33 saves, including some very nice ones. I'll give him one of the stars as well. We'll give him the third. And for the first star of the game, really, I think Begnosh was the only one who had multiple points in this contest. Maybe I have to give him the first star. And then for the second, who knows who I could give. Could be to any number of Raiders. Could even be to Easton Minardi as well. Made 17 saves. But a well-played game by Fitchburg Monty Tech to get them back in the win column. They're 3-5 now, and 2-3 in Coughlin Conference play with this 4-1 victory. Just impressive how they just took control of this game and really limited the chances St. B's got. The Bernardians 9 shots in the first 15 and 9 shots in the remaining half hour of play. And over that same time as they held St. B's to 9 shots, Fitchburg got 32 and 3 goals. Have a look at some of the end of game highlights. But one other thing to really take away too from this game is this was the goal by Mayu that stands up as the winning goal. Actually, as the insurance goal, excuse me. Bruno's goal was the winning goal, as we're going to see right here. So I guess I'll give him that other star. See, earlier on in the contest, there was the lone goal for the Bernardians from Ryan Gallant. Just 22 seconds after the Red Raiders opened the scoring from Cody Berkio. Big hit laid out by Begnosh. And there was the goal by Berkio that opened the scoring. 4th goal of the year for the captain. One of those big hits laid out there by Evan Walker. And there was the final goal. Paquette getting the redirection on the feed from Colin Hines. He was just trying to throw it towards goal. Paquette got the stick on it, and that pulled Bergeron out enough, and probably feels he was most frustrated with that 4th goal of all. But nevertheless, a 4-1 win for Fitchburg Monty Tech gets them to 3-5, 2-3 in Coughlin Conference play. St. Bernard's falls to 3-4, 1-3 in the Coughlin. And Nate Glennie, our director, Isaiah Manuel on replay. Evan Shachenbach, Robin Como, and Keith DePerry, our camera operators. And Travis Falk, our technical engineer and master of all things technical. We thank them all for all the work they've put in, and we want to remind you, don't go away, because we're going to have another hockey game in a little over an hour's time. Probably a little less if you're watching this in post. As Fitchburg State and Salem State will take to the ice in game number 2 of our Hockey Night in Fitchburg doubleheader. But until then, we'll wrap it up here for game number 1 here from the Wallace Civic Center. The final score for the final time, the Fitchburg Monty Tech Red Raiders 4 and the St. Bernard's Bernardians 1. So for everyone here at FATV, I'm Daniel Bolak saying thank you so much for tuning in. We hope to see you next time, hopefully not too long from now. But until then, for now, so long from Fitchburg.